Here we go. Okay, today's topic of discussion, if you need to watch it again, it is going to be posted on YouTube for just a review or as a reminder. Your homework tonight, you have 9 problems, and I want it done on a separate paper, so when we come back from lunch, we can work on it. Okay. The topic today is only area. Last week we worked on finding the area of circles and triangles and rectangles and trapezoids and parallelograms. Today we're going to be finding the total areas and adding them up. It is a little confusing, but it'll be fine. Okay. A composite. The word composite means like a mix. Composite. So like when you go to the dentist and you have a filling, right? The doctor mixes up the stuff to put in the hole in your tooth, right? That's called composite filling because they're mixing up glue and they're mixing up metals and all together. And they put the heat gun, they put the X-ray gun. Oh yeah. The black light, and it cures it. It makes it all hard. Why is it blue? Immediately. So that's how they mix it. It's called composite. That's what the little gun is. A little light. That's a black light. So it makes it hard right away. Right. So here in math, a composite is that you're adding the areas of the shapes. You can use this later on when let's say if you own a house or you're remodeling your house, you're buying carpet or tile for your room, and not every room is the same, right? So you have different size rooms, different shaped rooms, and you use composite shapes to kind of figure out how much carpet you need, or tile you need, or wood flooring you need, or paint you need, or whatever. So a composite, it's a combination of shapes. As you can see in your notes here, they're different shapes. You're adding different shapes up. So you're going to practice pretty much using all these formulas here. Okay? Let's keep this simple, and we'll go to lunch when we finish. Here we go. Use my highlighter here. Okay. The best advice I can give to you when you work these problems out is to organize it. I like to organize it by numbering the shapes. 1. This one is 2. I like to organize it so that I know later on I need to add those shapes up. So shape number 1. Shape number 1. Shape number 1.
Shape number 1.
It's a
rectangle.
It's a rectangle. Okay. A rectangle on your chart, you will know it either as base times height or length times width. I'm going to make that note here. It doesn't matter which one you use. I'm going to go ahead and use area is length times the width. The length, how long? The width, how wide? The long by the wide. Only looking at shape number 1, I'm only using, all I need is 2 numbers.
6.
Alright, I'm just multiplying 6 by 10. Together, 60 meters area, 60 meters squared. Area is squared. The area is squared. That's the first shape. The second shape. I better see some work shown. I'm going to look at it before we leave. The second shape. Don't be lazy, please.
Triangle.
This is a triangle. Practice your skills. The triangle. Again, triangles, we're practicing tomorrow. On your chart, it looks confusing with a fraction area, base times height, just divided by 2 instead. It's easier that way. So here,
What's the base?
hold on, big B times H divided by 2. All right. Now, here, to make it less confusing, I'm going to turn it around here. Scoot up here. So we know that it's 7 here. The base or the butt of the shape is actually 6. Oh, hi, Karina. So again, the height is 7. That's also called the altitude. Area equals 6 times 7 divided by 2. Yes. Questions on how I got 6 and 7? The reason why it's divided by 2 is because there are 2 triangles in a square. 2 triangles in a rectangle.
Wait.
It's 50% of the shape. So here, 6 times 7, 42 divided by 2, 21. 21 meters squared. Now, have shape 1, have shape 2. Lance, what do we do next? Lance? Don't do that, please. I'm going to give the same lecture again later. What do I need to add up? I've already seen that in your paper because you're not going to lunch now until I see it. What do I need to add up, Nastasia? And, excellent. The total, 60 plus 21, gives me a total area. Total area, 81 meters squared.
Wait, Mr. Kwon?
Yes.
The one where area equals 6 times 7.
Yeah.
42. Which one did you get that from?
The 6 came from the side here. The 6 was the height of the rectangle, but if you turn it around, it's also the base of the triangle.
Oh.
Okay? So, again, when we work in geometry, TJ, it's all about spatial reasoning. You have to make your brain think that the shape, the side is there. Because what it sees is not what it really is. The perception is not there. It's kind of like 3D, right? It's to make your brain think beyond that and look beyond the side. Right? It's very interesting.
Every side we got to multiply.
I'm sorry?
Every side we have to multiply.
Yeah. So here is the total area. So all I did was I added the area 1 and 2. Let me scoot it up a little bit. Any questions on number 1? No? Ariel? Okay, look at number 2. What kind of shape is this? What do you see here?
Rectangle.
It is. It's a It's a free throw. Right? Free throw. Okay. But here, more specifically, if you really look at it closely again, you actually see 2 shapes. 1 shape, 2 shape.
I was gonna say half a cylinder and a rectangle.
Well, you can think of it as half a cylinder, but because we're doing 2-dimensional, meaning a flat shape, we're going to do actually shape number 1. It's called half a circle, but more specifically, louder.
Semicircle.
Semicircle. Right. Semi means half. Partial. Yes, you should have. Semicircle. Semicircle. Like a semi-truck.
What's those look like?
Like a hat. Like a.
It's one of those smaller ones.
It's like not the 18-wheeler, but the smaller one.
It's like the Renaissance one.
Like half of yeah, kind of like a baby bus or a baby school truck.
It's like the one of those ones like the Renaissance.
Right, the short ones, the
Yeah.
short bed ones. Right, semi-truck, semicircle, semiconductor, like a small conductor, where they make computer chips. All right. So, but looking at only the shape here for circle, area of a circle, students, please keep in mind you only need the radius. The radius only. This is missed a lot. Do not use the diameter. If you use the diameter, it is going to be wrong. Radius only. Radius only. Looking at number 1, or the first shape. Going across here, students. What's the diameter? Right. Length 12 and 12. But we need the radius. It's actually 6. Do not use, I'm crossing out diameter. You only can use pi r squared. Pi r squared is the area of the circle. Because I only have half of the circle, I have to divide by 2. I only have half of the circle, I divide by 2. Think about those windows, those half windows that have the fans in, like the top of a regular window and has a half window. Those are just those are called I can't remember what they're called, huh?
Is that the on top of
The arc, right?
That looks like it. Oh, cool.
Could be.
Well, why did they put it right?
I have no idea. All right, let's move on here. So here I cannot use diameter, so don't use 12. Pi 6 squared divided by 2. Geometry is very simple. All you do, identify the formula, put the numbers in where they go, and multiply it out. Okay? Very simple. I'll help you. Okay. 6 squared. What was that? 36 pi divided by 2. Okay? So we have 36 pi divided by 2. What did I get? What? Okay. If I take my finger and I cover up that pi, what's half of 36? Louder? Excellent. 18. So then I have 18 pi. Students, how do I figure out what 18 times pi is? This is what you need to do in the STAR test. There's no calculator. 3.14 times 18. 3.14 times 18. Pi in 8th grade is 3.14. Now, when we finish with 8th grade stuff, we'll get into the calculator. In the calculator, it's an actual pi button. Okay? So first things first, let's multiply these together. 4 times 8. Lance, let's go. 4 times 8 is 32. Carry the 3. 1 times 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. Carry the 1. 8 times 3 plus 1.
8 times 3 plus 1. All right, got this.
8 times 3. 24 plus 1. 25. Add a 0. Square over 1. 1 times 4. 1 times 1. 3 times 1. Add it down. 2, 5, 6, 5. Okay. So the area, good. That's fine. The area for that half circle is only 56.52. We have already done it. We did it right here. We did it right there. This is why we have to practice. Shh. We practice, practice, practice.
Alright, I multiplied by 36. And I divided by...
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
You get 113.04. Divide by 2.
Yeah.
You still get 56.
I still got that number.
That's fine. It's the same thing. So this right here is only the area for the half circle. I'm going to check your notes before you leave for lunch. So the second shape, students, this is misleading. You have to check the numbers on the side. These numbers are the same. What shape is this?
Rectangle.
No. Square. This is a square. Remember the properties of a square? They have four equivalent sides. To find the area of a square or any rectangle? That's okay. It's a parallelogram. So we still use length times width, or base times height. So we're multiplying it. We're multiplying the square. 12 squared. Arrow.
12 squared, 144.
Okay. Now we have the area for the half circle. We have the area for the square. To find the total composite, we have to add it up. So we add those up. That's 2. That's 5. That's 0. Thank you. Hold on. You didn't grab the back. $200.52 yards squared. Yards squared. People who are educated know how to do area and surface area and perimeter and volume. You don't have to be the best at it. You just have to know kind of the whole gist of it, the difference. Okay? Because when you buy a house, if the paperwork is wrong, you pay taxes on how big the house is. The bigger the house, the more expensive it is. The smaller the house, the cheaper it is on taxes. Taxes are very expensive. If the paperwork comes back, sit up please. If it comes back as too big or too little, you're paying for that. Right? And I'll show you later on how to figure this out because it's interesting. And you need to know that. Okay, let's go to the back page and we'll go to lunch. We'll do number 5 instead. Alright. Now, on the back page. Same lesson in summer school. Turn around. Number 4. Now, that shape looks really confusing. But if you break it down to shapes that you know, if I highlight that part, I can see that this is a trapezoid. You're right. Okay. But in shape number 1, if I turn this to the side and cover it up, not exactly a rhombus. This is actually because the sides are a little bit slanted here. This is actually, Trent. This is actually a parallelogram. Okay. Again, like I said, every one of these on the form chart you will be using consistently. So this is actually the shape on top here is a parallelogram because it kind of slants a little bit to the left or to the right. But the bottom one is a trapezoid. Okay. So by recognizing the shapes that you know, it makes it a lot easier to solve. Parallelogram on your formula chart. Parallelogram. You can either use base times height or length times width. So let's figure out. Let's use in this one, just use base times height instead, so we get practice on both. Now, if I were to kind of twist this around a little bit, what's the base for the parallelogram?
5.
Make your brain think it. 10 is the base. The height, Nastasia, actually is not 7. It's 5. Because see how it has a direct line top to bottom? That's the height. The 7 just happens to be the measure of the side. That is not the height.
So that triangle doesn't count as part of it?
Well, this triangle, no, it doesn't. This is one whole shape. It's a little misleading here, but again, to make your brain kind of think beyond. So the 5 is the height, the 10 is the base. So here, I'm going to multiply it, 5 and 10 gives me a total of 50. So the area for the parallelogram is 50 centimeters squared. Shape number 2. We said it earlier.
Trapezoid.
This is a trapezoid. Learn this right the first time. It will not get any easier. A trapezoid. Trapezoids. It's also on your charts here. I would rewrite this so that's not as scary looking. Base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. This fraction kind of throws people off. It's the same thing. Whatever makes you happy. Amanda.
Wait, can you put that back?
Yes. Base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. Base 1 plus base 2. The reason why there are 2 bases is because one base is shorter than the other. Okay, Lily? If they were both the same bases, it would be a rectangle.
Oh.
Okay? Base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. Trapezoids. The two sides, the two bases are different sizes because one is shorter than the other. If they're both equal, Nastasia, then they will be rectangles. Okay? So look at only the second one. Base 1. Base 1. Base 2. So top and bottom. Top and bottom. 10 is not a part of that that trapezoid. And then 6 here is the height. Base 1 is 7, base 2 is 14.
27.
And then I'm adding those together. 14 plus 7
27.
times 6, divided by 2. Base 1, first butt, second butt, has 2 butts. TJ. 6 is the height. You're adding those together. 14 plus 7
21.
21 times 6.
Times?
Yes, I'm multiplying.
Oh, my bad.
So 20 times 6 is 120. Add 6, it's 126. Half of that,
Wait, let me do it.
63 centimeters squared. So then, again, to get the total area, 63. Half of 6 is 3. To get it together, 50, Alyssa, plus 63 is 113 centimeters squared. Okay? Centimeters squared. People who are educated, who know how to do this, are familiar. Right. Let's do this last one, and we'll jump on the homework and we'll go to lunch. Questions on the top part. Keep this simple. Don't make this complicated so it's overwhelming. Break it down to shapes that you know and you can see. Let's see number 5. Let's make this the last one here. Now this one was a little difficult to explain, but if you notice here, they're both semicircles, but one happens to be larger and the other one is smaller. Okay. So this one, let's make this 1, this one 2. So both of these are semicircles. Okay. They're both semicircles. So we need to find the area for both. But don't forget to divide by 2 for each one because they're half of the circle. So again, area of a circle. Area equals pi r squared. Okay. The trick to hold on. Because it's a semicircle, we're going to divide by 2. Okay? Because it's a semicircle. The hardest part for circles, every time, students, you need to make sure you label D and R. The diameter and the radius will make a difference. For circle number 1, the diameter. How do you know? It's right there. Well, yeah, obviously, right? It's right there. But we cannot use that.
Radius.
Half of that. I'm going to cross out diameter just to show you that you cannot use diameter. So again, the radius is 3 for the small one. What? Oh yeah, have a seat. So pi times 3 squared divided by 2. Again, 3 squared, Nestor. 3 comes from the radius. 3 squared is 9. 9 pi divided by 2.
Wait, I'll do it. No, I won't.
So 9 pi divided by 2. Okay, but to make things a little bit easier, let's leave this alone for now. Okay, Alan? We're leaving this alone for now. Let's move on to shape number 2. Later on, we'll add this together. It's easier. I promise it's easier that way. Because the shape is the same, we can combine like terms later. For the second one, Misha, let's go. For the second one, for the second circle, for the second circle. What's 5? The diameter is 5. However, the radius is 2.5. It's half of it, 2.5. We cannot use that one. So leave this alone for now, and we'll come back and I'll show you why we left it alone.
You want one?
No, not yet, because some people are not paying attention.
Bro,
So here, again, same thing. Pi, radius, squared, divided by 2. Radius is 2.5, square it. Okay, let's think. What is 25 times 25?
Oh, that's 50.
500.
625, thank you. 25 squared is 625. What is 2.5 times 2.5?
6.25. 6.25.
6.25. Right. 6.25 pi over 2. Now, we found the area for these two shapes. We're not done yet because we have to add these together. Because they have common denominators, just like in fractions, we can add the numerators up. 9 pi plus 6.25 pi over 2. I have $9. I have $6.25. How much money do I have total? And
25 cents.
right, you have $15.25. In this case, 15.25 pi divided by 2. 2 more steps. I have to now multiply 15.25 times 3.14. I multiply those together. Students, if I take my finger and cover up the decimals, 15 times 3.
45.
Okay, so your answer needs to be around, unintended, 45. So we're going to multiply that. 5 times 4. Carry the 2. 2 times 4. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 times 4. 20 plus 1. 21. Carry the 2. 4 times 1. 4 times 1. Plus 2. 6. I'm at 4 decimal spaces over. Add a 0. 5 times 1. 2 times 1. 5 times 1. 1 times 1. Double 0. 5 times 3. 15. 2 times 3. Plus 1. 5 times 3. 15. 3 times 1 plus 1 is 4. Add it all up. 0, 5, 8, 13, 18, 6, 7. 4, 7, 8, 8, 5, 0. But
Whoa, you scared me, brother.
you have to divide by 2 because of the semicircles. This is why you have to follow me. You have to understand. 47.885 divided by 2. It won't be funny when you don't get this later. You have to divide by 2 because there are 2 semicircles. No. Shh, you're making this harder for yourself. 2. Hold on.
No, 2, 3.
3. 9. 4.
Wait, I lost my...
2. Well, we'll call it for there. It's centimeters squared. Yeah. This is, again, you might sit there and start laughing about it, but it's going to come back and get you really, it's not going to be fun later on.
Reality.
Stop complaining. Now, before we go to lunch, I'll pass up the work after when we come back. Everyone needs to get started and get it done. Hold on, I'm going to look at your notes. You can go,